Dad? We actually do love each other.
Yeah, no, that is positive that came out of it. Now that I've fallen from heaven, I'm no longer God, and we're getting along great.
We had issues, and now we're through it.
Now we're through it, man. We're through
That
it.
should be an inspiration to anybody.
We can do it.
If we can do it, anybody.
Anybody.
God, those lights are bright. Can we turn down those lights and turn up the house lights so I can see human faces, not silhouettes? I like actually talking to you guys and seeing your faces. There you are. But wait a minute, can we turn up the house lights so I can see even more? Is that possible? Hey! People! Isn't it nice to be back on these cons? I really missed you guys. You guys are awesome. I mean, we're a family, right? So we have all the complexity of family. I'm either the red-headed stepchild of the family or the crazy uncle. But I'm still part of the family. And the great thing about family is no matter what, you stick together. Now, has there been another Supernatural convention here in Indianapolis?
18.
Was it right before COVID? Was it before COVID?
18.
2018.
The Giving Back Tour.
It was the Giving Back Tour. I have a question that may seem strange, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Was I there?
Yes.
I was there.
Yes.
I was walking around the city last night going, this looks so familiar. You know you have travel brain when you're doing that. I just came from overseas, so I'm still on Paris time. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's 9 o'clock in the morning for my dog. Because my dog came with me, so Frankie wakes up now at 3 o'clock in the morning, expects to be fed and walked. And he makes a lot of noise until I do it. We'll probably be coming at her in a little while so we can all hang out together. My little buddy Frankie. I love my Frankie. So this is a Q&A thing, right? There are questions which you have and answers which I don't have, but will pretend like I do have. So where should we start, I wonder? These are both the lines here. Do you mind if I do my usual eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mother says to pick the very best one. Does Lucifer even have a mother? And you are not it. What does that mean? Go ahead.
My name's Alfred, and my question is, did you know that your eyes were glowing red when you were Lucifer, or did you just happen to be in the pose when it was going on?
What? To repeat that, but differently, so I understand. like the red eye thing you get from taking a photograph?
No, like when you were actually playing the character Lucifer, your eyes would glow red whenever you were in like a certain position. So I'm wondering if you were...
I'm a method actor. It takes a tremendous amount of skill, believe it or not, to be able to make your eyes turn red at the moment the camera is right there. It's tough, and it's a little painful. I'm joking, I mean, wait, could you ask it again, but different, so that I... No, actually, I did not, I know what you're saying, I'm just fucking with you. I did not know they were going to make my eyes turn any color at all. Yeah, that's it. You seem disappointed with my answer.
I mean, it don't look like me anything different.
What's your name again?
My name's Alfred.
Thanks, Alfred. I feel so good now. You didn't expect anything but a bad answer. Well, that's good. I hope you all have low expectations. and I can't disappoint you. Hey, you guys, back in Paris, I had something put on my fingernails. I want to show you. Come up close. Do you like that? It's a little devil emoji on my, on both my fingernails. If you come to my signing, check it out. I'm very proud of them. Hi.
Hi there. First, I want to say you're the best Lucifer in Hollywood.
Thank you. In Hollywood.
I love how you showed his innocent side. I thought that was amazing.
Thank you. It was all a lie. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
My question is, I'm curious what your family / friends / lovers thought when they found out you were playing Lucifer.
Slash lovers. I've been married since the whole time I've been doing these. My wife is going to be astounded when she sees this in playback. You had lovers during... wow, I live quite an interesting life. Wish I knew it. They were fine with, you know, they're fine with it. I don't, I have an aunt who's very religious and who thinks I'm gonna burn in hell. But not because I played Lucifer on television, she just thinks I'm gonna burn in hell. Everybody else was quite supportive of it because Lucifer is sort of like a Hamlet of characters, right? I mean, Hamlet is a part that actors dream of doing, and every actor puts their distinct signature on their Hamlet. And Lucifer, I think, can have the same kind of stature, I think, in the literary, dramatic world. It's a big character. Actors put their own signature on it, and when you get to play it, it's sort of an impressive feat. So my friends were very supportive, and my lovers too. They're like, "Hey, I'm with the devil. This is interesting." Interesting. Yeah. Well, does that answer your question? Or you're not disappointed like Alfred was?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Mark. My name's Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Even though you don't remember.
The beauty of getting older is that you forget so many things that it's like you're doing something for the first time, even though you've done it 100 times.
I get that. I'm getting there.
Oh, you're young. What are you talking about?
Thank you. I appreciate that. My question was, were you ever part of a J2 prank? And if so, what was it?
I was not. I've never been a part of a prank in Supernatural. I told you I'm the red-headed stepchild. I'm the one nobody knows how to deal with. I don't know if that's the case or whether they just hated me. No, or just, I think we just took each other seriously in a way, right? I mean, in between takes I'm talking to them about serious stuff. I'm a serious guy, right? I'm a serious one. I don't like talking about bullshitting around too much. Maybe that's boring. And maybe I'm boring and that's why they didn't prank me. No, you're very sweet. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for reminding me that nobody liked me on the set and pranked me. I'm kidding. Hey, wait a minute. Were you as disappointed as Alfred was? Okay, thank you. So far...
I'm glad they didn't prank you.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's very nice.
It is?
Yeah.
It
They
is?
respected you.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. That goes to show you it's all about perspective.
They respected you.
Oh, I respect them too. Where are they? Come here, guys. No, they're great. Well, I'm hearing all kinds of mixed messages here going on. What's up?
Hi, I'm Taylor. I love
Taylor.
your character and I love you as a person. You're like my favorite Lucifer ever.
Oh, thank you.
But my question is, my favorite season of Lucifer was when you possessed Sam and literally drove him absolutely crazy. So my question is,
It's my favorite too.
That was literally my question. Did you enjoy literally just making Sam go nuts?
How could you not? He's so cute when he's frustrated or upset. So I love pressing those buttons. I am a little bit impish in real life. So I do like, even though I never played practical jokes on any of the boys or got practical jokes played on me and tend to be serious, there's that other side of me that is like kid-like. I like to play with people and fuck with people sometimes, and I got to do it for free with no consequences in that whole season. So I got paid to do it. I got paid to be a 5-year-old, a sassy, psychopathic 5-year-old. That's fun. Thank you, Taylor. Were you as disappointed with Alfred?
Not at all.
Okay, great. I want to redo with Alfred. Our relationship got off. Oh yeah! He's back in line. Go, baby. I gotta get through these questions quick.
Hi, my name is River, and I was wondering,
Hey, River.
when Lucifer was first introduced, he was the kind of like more serious and like emotional, but then like by the end of his time on the show, he was basically like a 5-year-old. So what was it like playing a character that had like such an arc like that?
Crazy. It's crazy. I mean, at first I don't know that I was on the page of liking it, right? I loved that season 5 Lucifer because he was the real big bad, but there was an edge of humor to everything that he did because it was so understated. It was subtle, and Lucifer was bad enough to kill the pagan gods and get what he wanted, and you knew that whatever he said, he could back up. And the Lucifer post Sam's head became more of a Lucifer with a little L, right? He was more braggadocio and more talk than more bark than bite. I like more bite than bark. In real life, I like more bite than bark. And I don't like necessarily feeling like Lucifer isn't the smartest guy in the room. He's got to be the alpha dog wherever he is. And there was an element that wasn't necessarily the case, but it was fun. It was fun to play and be a kid, you know, and have no consequences to bad behavior. No wooden spoons to give me for Dad to give me the spanking. I could just do whatever I wanted. So yeah, it was a mixed bag in that, you know, I think Lucifer should have stature, but then I also am of the mind that we shouldn't take evil too seriously, so we should lampoon it. So it's sort of fun. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Were you as disappointed as?
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
That's the umpire for you, boy.
Go, Alfred. Yes.
Hi, my name is Jillian. First I wanted to say you're also my favorite Lucifer because I just related to him always feeling left out in situations.
Amen.
But my question is, what was your favorite moment throughout all the time you were on Supernatural? What is your favorite moment on set?
Wow, that's really hard to pin down stuff like that when you've been on a show for a few seasons. For me, the best part of working was always showing up the first day and seeing everybody again, you know, that year, because it was sort of like going to work with your friends and family, and so it felt like a place where you could be free and uninhibited and have fun, and not every set is like that. And Hollywood tends to be very stratified, you know. There's sort of a caste system at work there all the time, and there's a dividing line between people above the line, what they say above the line, people below the line. And I never got that sense in Supernatural. We were all in it together. And so always going back to work felt like going home. And so and as sort of an orphan myself, who never really had family roots and never had a family that I felt was cohesive, it was something I always longed for. And I felt that, you know, with them. So that was my favorite thing about working. Thank you. Thank you. Were you?
Hi.
Hey.
My name is Colton, and I was just wondering, how did it feel to play in Tales of the Crypt, and how did you get into acting?
Wow, Tales of the Crypt. You're going back there. Well, that was Arnold Schwarzenegger's directorial debut. I don't know if he's done any more directing after that. Does anybody know if he has? So that was interesting, you know, because at the time Arnold was probably one of the biggest marquee names in the world. And so it was interesting working with him behind the camera. I don't remember him giving any suggestions with respect to acting, but that was interesting. That's the only way I can qualify that statement. It was interesting, and it was a show I think that a lot of people did. It was very popular, so it was fun to work on. And I got into acting by accident. You know, I dropped out of college, and I fell in love with this girl and dropped out of college. It's complicated. We can get into it later if you want. And I had to do something. I was just working, and I saw an ad in a paper advertising a modeling school, and they were giving away classes for free, and I went there. I thought, maybe I could do that. I'm not pretty like a model, but maybe I could do that. And they were offering commercial workshop classes for free, and the price was right for me, and so I took those, and that guy set me up with an agent, and that agent set me up with an acting school that turned out to be the school that I taught in and did many plays in for years, and over time I just developed this love for the craft, and over the last few years a love for cinema. I'm a slow developer, so I was working before I loved the craft. I just didn't like the work. And I don't mean that the way it sounds. Working in film it's not arduous. It's distracting and fucked up a little bit. And what you learn in the purity of acting school is hard to translate into the real world because there's a lot of obstacles out there to human experience, and you really have to have command of yourself. And that's why Sandy Meisner, the great acting teacher, says it takes 20 years to be an actor, because you have to learn to get out of your own way. Because most of the obstacles are your own, they're internal blocks. So it took me a long time to develop a love for film too. So I'm still a work in progress. So I got into it accidentally. That's the short version of it, and fell in love with it over the years. That makes sense? Are you an actor?
I'm not an actor, but I do take some drama courses, and I've really been trying to get into it and stuff, like on the side.
Okay. Well, if you come to my table later, I'll recommend some great books for you to read that I think will turn you on with respect to acting and what's possible.
Okay, thank you.
All right, peace. Did that answer make sense? Or is it as jumbled as my answer to Alfred? Which we're going to straighten out soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more. Hang on, Alfred, we'll get to you. Yes.
Hi, my name is Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hi. So I recently watched an episode of 911 that you were on.
Oh,
And yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, yeah, I know him. So what's that?
Do you though?
I guess not. So my question is, what are some similarities or some differences that you took or that you like noticed from the Supernatural set to the 911 set?
Oh, none. I mean, that set is utterly chaotic and totally nuts. The people, the actors are cool, and it was fun sort of working with them. The first couple days were just crazy. So, I mean, Supernatural is a well-oiled machine that was doing its work for 15 seasons, and they knew how to pop stuff out, not rushed, but smoothly. And everybody knew what they were doing. I can't say that the left hand, as I hold up my right hand, knew what the right hand was doing on that show. It was a little bit nutty. And they had a strike, sort of within the episode, because so many people were being worked to death, 16, 17, 18-hour days. And then getting forced calls, and something had to give. So it was tough. And I respect all the people that have done that for 6 seasons? It's been going on for a while, right? 5?
5th season, yeah.
Those poor people. Well, I think they got some good concessions, and hopefully they're going to be a little more satisfied. But it was nuts. Nothing like the Supernatural set.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi,
Hey.
I'm Dream.
You're what?
Dream.
Dream?
Mm-hmm. Did you know that your character was going to have a split tongue?
Yes, but it wasn't written in the script that way. That was Thomas Wright's addition. And he said, "Stick out your tongue. I'm gonna put a little split in it, like a snake." You know, Tom Wright directed Baby. Yeah, he's good. He directed a very bad film I did very early in my career called No Holds Barred, and that's how I knew Tom. Tom sort of gave me my SAG card. But yeah, he told me he was going to do that. I was skeptical about how it would turn out. It's pretty gross, right? Pretty weird.
I thought it was cool.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now that was the answer that I give her, but the real answer is I'm a method actor. I had my tongue split just for that scene.
Hi, Mark.
Hey.
My name is Dean. I know Lucifer had like multiple times throughout the seasons where he was really, really likable, then he was really unlikable. My question is, do you kind of wish that you had more time as Lucifer to kind of give him a redemption arc?
I wanted a redemption arc, and I think Eugenie, one of the writers, wanted a redemption arc, but none of the other writers, I think, did. But I think that would have been cool, right? Anybody here would you like to have seen a redemption arc? Maybe it's asking too much. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who thinks anybody can change if they have the will, but maybe there's just some folks who can't, and Lucifer's that guy. I don't know. I'm that guy? I'm that guy who can't change? Oh, that's right, Lucifer does mean light bringing, and Lucifer is the light bringer. Brings light. Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it. Oh well. Oh good. I wanted him to, I wanted his love for his son to transform him. Because sometimes that can happen, right? Sometimes, you have kids and it changes your perspective on everything. And you can become a much better person than you were without them. I was hoping that would happen with him. It didn't. He was too far gone, too narcissistic. Yes.
Hi, I'm Jaden. I was wondering if, when you were performing as Lucifer, if you ever scared or intimidated anybody on set, especially like Jared, because you had so many scenes with him?
No. I never tried to scare and intimidate anybody on set. And I don't think anybody was scared or intimidated of me on set. Because I'm not scary and intimidating. Unless you make me scary and intimidating. But I try not to be. I try to downplay that side of myself. And in Lucifer, it's just sort of understood, so I didn't think I had to play any of that. But no, I mean, if any of you have stood next to me, I'm kind of a tall guy, and Jared's way taller than me, and so it seems like it's hard to intimidate an oak tree.
Hey, you can't take my nickname.
Is that your nickname, Oak Tree? Alfred, wait in line. Yes.
Hi Mark, I'm Rowan. So I've seen Being Human and Tomorrow People.
Yeah.
What do you remember from those shows and then going to Supernatural?
Oh, well, I was sort of doing all that simultaneously. I mean, I think I drove the Supernatural, Jim Michaels in particular, crazy because I was always doing something else when they called me back in. So at some points I was doing Supernatural in both shows. Being Human was a really intimate project for me because I became really good friends with Sam Witwer, and we're still very good friends to this day, and the whole cast just gelled together. This was, of course, pre-COVID times when the cast could go out together and bond. Post-COVID, it hasn't been that way, and it's a little weird to shoot a series when you're normally very intimate with your fellow cast members, and you can't be that way anymore. I think something is lost in the acting. And the Tomorrow People, was a bit, you know, it was fun. It was fun to do. It was a bit more corporate, a little wider scope, and you know, I'm the old timer in the group, so I don't have as much in common with, you know, the young actors that are in it. But still fun and a good working experience. But nothing really compares to Supernatural because it's just like family, you know. So I don't think there's any experience that will quite meet up to that, to be honest. Thank you. You know, when you're working with people you're that comfortable with, it's different. Yes.
So I heard that you've done like jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what your favorite like fighting style was.
Well, I used to teach taekwondo in my younger years. I used to train with the Olympic taekwondo teams when I was younger and could kick your head off when you were 6, 7. But that feels like a whole world away. I did Muay Thai boxing for a couple years. I boxed for long enough to give me brain damage. And but my favorite art is the one I'm the least qualified in, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the greatest martial art ever. If you know how to use your hands and your knees and elbows and stuff, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is unstoppable. And I'm only a 2-stripe white belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I failed my blue belt test. Fuck, well, he surprised me. And I had a really bad back injury at the time, and all I could think about was, I'm gonna fuck myself up again. And so, you know, you're supposed to do like 10 variations of all these techniques, and I would only remember like 5, and so I fucked up. But I do want to go back to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I am determined to at least get a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm worried about killing my back. Because last time I did it was during Being Human, and I wore a back brace for the entire first season of Being Human. I could barely move. I was going to an osteopath 2 times a week, and it wasn't helping me. But I'm dying I'm just dying to do that martial art. Do you do martial arts?
Yeah, I did jiu-jitsu for 3 years, and I do boxing right now.
It's good. Boxing is good. Boxing is a great style, and if you have grappling like that, and you know how to move on the ground, you're a tough customer. What did you get up to? What rank?
I don't remember.
Okay, copy that. Well, keep at it. Keep at it. If you don't get hurt, keep at it.
Yeah, my knuckles are messed up right now, so.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, don't let anybody hit you in the head.
I try not to.
Well, yeah, so did I. Don't let anybody break your nose. I had my nose broken a couple times, and you know it scrambles your brains. Don't do that too much, okay? Okay. And you're not taking me serious tonight because you're young. But you'll feel it later on when you're my age. Trust me.
I've been hit in the head a couple times. It doesn't feel too good.
You what?
I've been hit in the head a couple times. Not like boxing, but it doesn't feel too good.
No, it doesn't. Well, you just wait till later. Then you really see it. Yeah, be careful with your head. Protect your brain. Okay? I command you. All right, and do the jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Okay.
No mind control here.
Is that Alfred? Is that Alfred? Alfred? Yes. Hi.
Hi, I'm Melissa. My question is about the difference in the roles between Lucifer, who is funny and infuriatingly evil at times, but then to see your role as a cop in 13 Reasons, which absolutely just stole my heart to see that kind of parent and parenting on screen. I was just wondering if that was emotionally taxing to jump between such characters.
I don't think so. I think the older you get in this business, the more you can, not compartmentalize, but definitely separate roles and separate the thing that you're doing at work from the thing that you're doing at home. It's harder when you're younger, because I don't know why. Maybe you're it's too self-conscious, or you don't have enough confidence that, you know, that what you need is going to be there when you're younger. And when you're older, you just don't care. No, there's something to letting go of all that and just being in the moment. I feel like the 13 Reasons Why phenomenon was emotional for me because of the personal resonance of the show, right? I mean, I took the part because my best friend committed suicide. Literally, I think the month before I auditioned for that. So I really wanted to be a part of a story that projected a message that really could change lives in a tangible way, directly.
And thank you for taking that role. Lucifer, we get that it's supernatural, it's TV. I can say that the role that you played on 13 Reasons took you as a person to a different depth in my mind. You're a character. This one made the difference of humanity.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. But Supernatural is, hey, you take your heroism where you can get it, right? And Supernatural is one of the few heroic shows out there. And don't you need that? Heroism is good, right? It's something to aspire to, and it's something that you need to see people who make it and who defy the odds and make it, right? Because in real life, sometimes we can't see out of our own troubles. We can't see beyond them. And so it's good to know that it's possible to overcome what's immediately in front of you. And Supernatural gives that to you by way of story, and I think that's great, right? Yeah. They defy God for love. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes?
Hello. I was just wondering who has inspired you the most in your life?
Inspired me most? There's so many people, but so many actors and thinkers. It's hard to pin one. When somebody asks me what my favorite movie is, I can't come up with a single movie. Maybe 10 or 20 movies that are impactful in some way to me, and likewise with people. I'd say the most impactful. I don't know, inspiring, yes, but impactful, I think, is the philosopher Ayn Rand. Much vilified and much misunderstood, but the ideas are so unconventional and so thought-provoking that it certainly changed my life and the way I look at the world and taught me how to think, which I think is a lost art, or certainly an underappreciated art today. We're taught to feel for the most important things in our life, right? Live, do what your heart tells you to do, which I think is almost the exact opposite advice you should live by. And one of the things that she said, which I thought was absolutely correct, don't do what you feel, do what you think. And that sounds sterile, but it's the opposite. It just means that your heart tells you things, it gives you information, but it's not how you understand the world, and it's not necessarily how you should discern right from wrong. It tells you about yourself. It tells you about what you value, but it's not cognitive information. It's not information necessarily about what's going on out there. Thinking provides that for you. And I think when we embrace reason again as a society, I think we'll be a much happier group of people and much easier to live with each other than present. So yeah, read her stuff if you can. Some of it's a little didactic, but some of it's very, 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 very good. Hi.
Hey Mark, it's Laverne.
Hi, Laverne.
I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Given how long you played Lucifer and how many intriguing mannerisms Lucifer had, did you find after you left the role that you occasionally will have some of those mannerisms when you're feeling particularly impish? Or
can you give me an example of Can you give me an example of a mannerism?
Well, just sort of, kind of your grins, your sort of, maybe like a little bit of the singing, sort of the sing-songy aspects of some of the things, how you would say things.
Yes, unfortunately, I think I do that in life. Lucifer stole them from me. Yes. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Were you as satisfied with that answer as all for yourself? coming close. We're getting there. Alfred, we're almost there. We're almost there. I have a feeling Dad's gonna come out though right before Alfred gets to the mic. But I'm trying to go as fast as I can, brother. Trust me. Go ahead.
Hi. I was wondering if you could take your character and put him in any other like show or movie, what would that be?
Take Lucifer.
Yeah, like take him and put him in another.
Happy Days. I'd love to see him in Happy Days. Or Laverne and Shirley. The Flintstones would be interesting. Remember the Flintstones? Loved the Flintstones. Get Smart. I'd love to see him in Get Smart. One of my favorite comedy shows of all time, Get Smart. Twilight Zone. There's so many shows you can come up with that Lucifer would be a fun addition to the cast. Modern Family. One of my favorite shows. Arrested Development. I think Lucifer should make an appearance in the jail. I don't know. Ozark. Come on! Isn't Ozark great?
Yes.
Jason Bateman is like one of the greatest actors of all time, don't you think?
Yes.
He's so underrated. I mean, he's been nominated for a ton of stuff, I mean, a ton of awards for his work in Ozark, but just so underrated and underappreciated. The simplicity and clarity that he brings to his work is, it blows my mind. It's so difficult to achieve that, and he does it effortlessly. Hi!
Hi!
How are ya?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
I wanted to know your opinion on Misha's version of Lucifer, and if you gave him any advice taking on that role.
Yeah, I liked his version of me, and yes, he did. He sat down with me for a couple of hours, and we talked about Lucifer's psychology, which is interesting, I think. And we talked about how I might approach certain scenes, how I would look at, the people who are opposite me, what I might be thinking, and I think he took that and adapted it in his own way and made it his own, and the result was pretty good. And the first episode he did it, my wife was off camera, and they would text back and forth in between takes, and she would say, he'd do it like this, and he would, make adjustments, which I thought was really, it was a generous, I think, gesture on his part, and a very good acting choice, because he was bringing acting consistency and character consistency to the part, which the other guy did not do. Who was the other guy? Who?
Rick Springfield.
Who? Who's that? I'm joking, come on. Are you satisfied with that one?
I'm very satisfied.
More than Alfred was satisfied? We're almost there, Alfred. Oh, so close, so close. Yes?
Hi, Mark. My name is Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa.
Ever since Supernatural ended, do you think there's a part of you missing since you played Lucifer for so long?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I didn't grow up with that kind of family cohesion. I don't know how many of you relate to that. Maybe many of you do. And having that to go to, and then having it taken away from you sucks, right? It's great to have it and to feel like you're home again, and then to have the home taken away, it makes me murderously angry. No, I'm kidding, not murderously, just sad, for sure. But, I think there's a prequel coming out. I think Jensen's working on some creative aspect of that, so I think that might satisfy you a little. Do you think that'll make you a little bit happy? Even if Jensen's only a voice in it, you can at least get the resonance of things past, and I'd be happy. Thank you. Thank you. Almost there, Alfred, not yet.
Hi, Mark. I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
I'm a bowler, so I thought it fitting I asked a question about the Big Lebowski.
Oh, sure. Are you a good bowler?
I'd like to think I am. I have a few 300s.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Did you enjoy giving Jeff Bridges a swirly? And do you think you could give us a good, where's Money Lebowski?
Yeah, so I did enjoy that, but I didn't do it. He had a bad neck, and so he did all of that, and I just followed him down. Isn't that crazy how that works? So he's dunking his own head in the toilet, and I'm making it look like I'm dunking his head in the toilet, and saying, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" When he says you're good for it. It's fucking money! And he had an earplug in his ear for that, so I didn't blow out his eardrums. What a fantastic little project to work on. I never knew when I read the script that it would become the cult phenomenon that it became. Well, we're finally here together, Alfred. What's up, man? I got through these questions fast just to hear your redo.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to give me a good, honest answer here, okay? And it's gonna have to be a long sentence because you, my good sir, have given me nothing but short sentences this entire time. Now,
I will do my best, Alfred.
My question is, out of all the different people besides you that have played Lucifer, who do you think did better? I think it was Jared because he was more of a badass.
Jared? Well, no, I mean, as I said earlier, I like season 5 because Lucifer's a badass. And his Lucifer was technically before you saw my Lucifer. So he had a very princely, kingly sort of attitude to him that I thought was appropriate for, you know, an aristocrat of heaven, which Lucifer clearly was. So I did like that. I did like that it was aloof and regal. And I thought the Lucifer of season 5 had that with a little twist of humorous malevolence behind it that was subtle. So yeah, I agree with you. I liked the badass stuff.
Okay, thank you. That satisfied me.
Alfred!
Have a good day. Thank you for answering my question.
Thanks, buddy.
I just wonder, I know you're an avid reader.
Yes.
And I'm not too sure, I know that you like different types of books, philosophical books. So what is the latest book that you have read?
Oh boy. I'm reading right now The Ideological Origins of the American Revolution.
Wow, this is a page turner,
right? It actually won the Pulitzer Prize.
Did it really?
It really did.
Oh,
and
sure.
It sounds
No, I'm serious, I'm sure it did. It just...
The way you said that. Yeah, sure it did.
No, I said I'm sure it did.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sure it did. We're getting along well.
Yeah. Hey, Dad.
No, I'm saying
Dad, you always got to rain on my parade, though, just as I was talking about something I was really interested in. You got to make it bad.
Sorry.
Dad.
Sorry, son.
And we were getting along so well.
That's how I do.
Yeah, that's a great book, by the way. You should read it.
What's it called again for the folks at home?
The Ideological Origins of the American Revolution. It sounds like a textbook, but it reads like a narrative. It's not boring. Trust me, please.
Okay. Yeah. You always give great recommendations.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh.